You're listening to the Remote Millionaires Podcast, the show for aspiring and established entrepreneurs who want to create and scale six-figure success online without being chained to a job, location, or computer. I'm your host, Tom Gaddis. Let's dive in. Aloha and welcome to another episode of the Remote Millionaires Podcast. Tom Gaddis here. I hope you're having a great week, and thank you so much for taking the time to download and listen to this episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that recently happened to me and the business implications that struck me, how you can use it to find success in your business. The title of this episode is How to Pizza Your Way to Success. And what the heck am I talking about? Well, last week, I took my family on our first ever ski trip. So since the girls pretty much grew up in Maui, they've never been on a road trip. They'd never been in weather under 20 degrees. And none of us had ever been snow skiing. So we packed up the car and we took the dog and we drove 6 hours to Park City, Utah. And we stayed for a few days. And our goal was to learn how to ski and to ski down the mountain. So we signed up for lessons. And the girls, of course, picked it up super fast. Like, they got it right away. My wife and I, however, struggled. And one of the things we struggled with was pizza. So if you've never been snow skiing, one of the first things that you have to learn is how to stop, right? Because you're on skis, you're going down a mountain. How do you stop? Well, it's a thing called pizza. Well, sometimes they call it the snowplow, but on this mountain, they called it pizza. And it involves taking your skis, and I'm going to use my hands here. Your skis are parallel, if I can say that. And when you want to slow down, you take your back heels and you move them out away from your body. And this creates a triangle shape, a pizza shape with your skis. And when you do this right, you start to slow down. But it is kind of like a knacky thing. It's not like you try to do what they say in the beginning and it doesn't quite work. And that got me thinking about starting a business and getting your business going and off the ground, or learning a new skill or improving on anything that you may need to do in your business. Because if you've listened to me for any amount of time, you know, I've said that my journey as an entrepreneur has been a journey of becoming. I have had to learn all the skills, habits, disciplines, everything to become an entrepreneur. I thought I knew them, but the reality was I didn't. Mainly because I had just read about them. I hadn't taken any action. And that's what got me think. That's what the pizza got me thinking about, right? Because the instructors take you aside at the beginning of the lesson and they explain pizza to you while you're just standing still and you don't have your skis on, right? They explain it to you. But the only way to really learn how to do the pizza is to get on the skis and do it. You can't just think your way into figuring it out. You actually, they can show you the right technique. They can explain what to do. They can say, look, this is what you're doing. This is what you're trying to do. But to actually do it, you have to get on the skis, be moving, and try it. Very scary, very scary, especially when you're going down a hill and you're not stopping and you think you're doing it, but you're not. And one of the interesting things about this was they basically show you, put you on the skis, and then send you down a hill, like a little hill. It's a controlled environment and area, but they just send you down and they're like, stop yourself. This aggravated me at first because I thought, what the heck are they doing? I'm going down the hill and I can't stop. So I'm saying, I can't stop. And I'm expecting someone to somehow step in and save me. And no one did. The only way I could stop was to just fall down. And that really aggravated me at first because I thought, what is wrong with these instructors? Why didn't they come and save me? But the thing was, they couldn't save me. They couldn't come out and stop me. I just had to learn how to do it. And I had to do that by actually doing it and then listening to their suggestions about what to do. So they would watch me and they'd give me suggestions and I'd try to get it and I'd have to fall down, then I get back up. Basically, I couldn't get it the first day. And the second day, I took the same lesson again. And eventually, after an hour, I got it. It just came to me after trying and getting frustrated. And I wanted to give up. I was like, this is stupid. I can't do this. But I just kept at it. And eventually, I did it one time and I got the feel and I was like, oh, that's what you do. And then I had it and it wouldn't go away and I could figure it out. And then I learned how to turn and then I was in control of the skiing. The same thing with business, right? A lot of times, we can read, we can study, we can learn about what we're supposed to do, we can plan. But the only way to really learn and grow and move forward with your success is to actually do it. You have to do it and you have to learn as you're doing. You're not going to be perfect when you do anything for the first time. In fact, you are probably going to suck pretty bad. But the faster you can get to the doing, the faster you can get to improving while you're doing. One of the ways we talk about this in our Remote Millionaires community is revenue producing activities. You need to focus on revenue producing activities. So a lot of times when new members come in, and I think I talked about this a little in the last episode, we try to get them to doing the revenue producing activity as fast as possible. Like we can explain the concepts, we can talk about the strategy, we can give them a plan, we can walk them through all those basic things. But to actually produce revenue, you have to do the revenue producing activity. There is no other way around it. Now, for a remote marketing agency owner, that revenue producing activity is prospecting and actually talking to potential clients to close them. If you're a writer, the revenue producing activity is writing, right? But you have to do that to do it. So what we see with a lot of people and students is that they spend a ton of time getting ready. They think they're going to be perfect when they first do it. They give it a try. They're not perfect at it. They get frustrated. They just give up. They go to something else. Well, that didn't work. So let me go to the next thing. Instead of trying to figure out, well, why didn't this work? How can I improve this? Like, I'm not going to be good at this the first time I do it. I'm not going to be good at this the first month I do it, the first 2 months I do it. Like, I've just got to keep working at it until I figure it out. Until I get the feeling and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you do it. And then once I get that feeling, I'm like, oh, this is easy. Once I figured out the pizza, skiing became fun. I thought, wow, this was easy. And I couldn't remember why I couldn't figure it out. Like it was just natural to do it after that point. But it took time and patience and perseverance to get to that point, right? I had to just keep going until I figured it out. Now, another way we talk about this, and hopefully this will clear this up a little more for you too, is we always talk about getting ready to get ready. And this was my problem for a long time with my entrepreneurial career. And that was, I was always planning. I was always working like, I just need to figure out this one thing and then I'll get started doing the revenue producing activity. Like the talking to the potential prospects was the thing I needed to be doing every day. I did everything else besides that. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't have success. And it was because I was getting ready to get ready. I wasn't actually doing the revenue producing activity. So the faster you can get to the revenue producing activity and start doing it, and again, you're going to suck at it. It's going to be frustrating. You're going to feel like you're not getting anywhere, but you have to just keep pushing forward. And then you can look and say, well, okay, well, look, I'm trying to do this thing. Here's some people that have already done it. Now, when you read what they write about it or watch training about what they do about it, you'll have different insight. You'll be like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try this. And you just keep trying until you figured it out. In skiing, they called it finding your brakes. Once you figured out how to pizza, you found your brakes, and that made all the difference. Then they could move you to the next level, and you could start learning how to go up the lift and come down the mountain and all those things, which eventually my wife and I did. We went up another mountain a few times. We had a blast. But that's this lesson, this thing that popped into my mind while I was doing this was like, it's so similar to entrepreneurship. Whatever your level is, you have to learn how to pizza. You have to find your brakes. Then you're able to move forward in success. And sometimes that means stopping your progress forward while you figure it out, right? The skills that you need to learn to be successful, you're not just going to pick them up right away. Some of them are difficult. Some of them take time. Some of them take experience. Some are going to take you longer than others to learn and to get a grip on. That's okay, as long as you're moving forward and you're focusing on the revenue producing activities. Now, since the holiday season's coming up, and you might have a little extra time to read and learn and get some grips on this, I wanted to share a book that has helped me with this, but that helped me in finding my breaks in my entrepreneurial journey, that helped me figure out the only way to learn to pizza is to just get out there and do it. And it's a book by a guy named Michael Masterson, and it's called Ready, Fire, Aim. And look, like I said earlier, the biggest issue I see with people that aren't having success with their business is they're spending too much time planning. They're overthinking everything instead of taking action and improving on the actions they're taking. Or they plan, they think, they get it all together, and they take an action for a little bit of time, and they get frustrated because they're not good at it, and they just give up. And they think, oh, well, if I move to something else, this will work. Well, nothing will work if you don't stop to take the time to figure it out. There is no secret, right? There's no secret. You just have to figure it out. So this book helped me a lot with that. It talks about what you should focus on from 0 to $1 million, from $1 million to $5 million. It's just really great. And I recommend you check it out. You can usually find used copies of it. It's not super expensive. Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson. Check that out. A good book to read through any extra time you might have during the holiday season. All right, look, I hope this episode of How to Pizza Your Way to Success has helped you. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, right? You can reach out to us at offlinesharks.com/support. That's our support desk. I would love to hear from you. You can email me, tom@tomgaddis.com if you'd like. If you enjoyed this episode, go to wherever you listen to podcasts, leave me a review. I'd really appreciate that. And I will see you next week on another episode of the Remote Millionaires Podcast.
Hey, if what you've heard today on the Remote Millionaires Podcast resonates with you and you want to continue the conversation, then I want to personally invite you to head over to remotemmillionaires.com and schedule your free Remote Millionaires business development call. We will analyze your business and show you exactly how to accelerate your results and build a wildly successful business you can run from anywhere. Until next time, Tom Gaddis, signing off.